Welcome to a short history lesson on the Cuban Missile Crisis. The US political environment that led up to the Cuban Missile Crisis was stressed, and no one was more stressed than the Commander-in-Chief, President John F. Kennedy. He ran and won the presidential election on an anti-Cuban/communist platform, but since the election was on the losing end of a multitude of covert operations, attempted assassinations, and more to overthrow the Castro regime in Cuba and bring democracy to the Cubans. President Kennedy was embarrassed and really tired of sucking so bad. Kennedy had also deployed numerous missiles very near the other major nuclear power in the world, the USSR. The nukes were placed in Turkey and Italy. Of course, both the USSR and Cuba were both communist nations, and because of Kennedy's meddling with both, the countries were allied. In short order, the USSR began secretly installing ICBMs on Cuba, just 90 miles south of the US's southern littoral border. When the nukes were discovered by the US, Kennedy demanded the USSR remove them, although in reality, the removal would literally have changed nothing because proximity doesn't really matter when we're talking ballistic missiles. They travel really fast and very precisely, so shooting them off from the USSR or from Cuba is like, whatever, no diff. Anyway, Kennedy imposed the quarantine, which was really a naval blockade, and a naval blockade was an act of war, but he played the semantics game, calling it a quarantine. It lasted 13 days, and during that time Kennedy and the Soviet leader Khrushchev were head-to-head over this nuke removal thing. In the end, the USSR removed their nukes from Cuba, and it looked to the US public like we strong-armed them. Wow, tough guys. But really, we secretly agreed to remove our nuclear weapons from Turkey as well, so it was a draw. Kennedy kept this very hush-hush, not even his vice president knew. Really, no one except his brother. Then it was unclassified 25 years later, and that's how we know today.